Well, good morning, everybody. Always up here by me. My blood sugar was a little high. He run, first one to get my lap was a big boy, and he run big boy off. He took over. He said, I ain't too old, I still do my job. It's all right, Daddy. I roasted chicken last night, and me and the pups had a piece of roasted chicken. They'll eat all the breast because I don't like it. I'll eat the thigh. They eat the legs too. They're too spindly. I'll just eat the thighs mainly. And I might cut up a little chicken breast or chicken sandwich, chicken salad sandwich. Oh, sweet relish in it. Mainly they eat the chicken. They was waiting for that rotisserie to ding so they knew what I was cooking. They was all in the kitchen waiting on me for that rotisserie to ding and quit working so they could have some chicken. I had to cool it off for about 10 minutes before I could cut into it. But they had chicken for supper. I had chicken thigh and a slice of bread, probably the bread that rose my sugar level. But other than that, I'm doing fine. I didn't shave. I cleaned up, but I didn't shave. I should have, but I didn't. One day is supposed to be warm. That's today. So I'm going to start the bus, start the ambulance, get them off. And then it's going to be another week of rain. I mean, down to the 20s, 23, 24, 26 degrees. It's going to be cold and wet. It might even have ice and snow and sleet in it. Oklahoma, you never know, on the Kansas border. Yeah. So there you go. Cold weather. I got the heaters on this morning. Pups are all covered up. Always up here by me, though. I've been having trouble with pain in my thigh of my own leg on the left. Sharp pain about middle ways in the bone. Maybe it's arthritis. I don't know. I thought arthritis is in your joints. It almost takes me to my knees when it starts stabbing me. Hell, it's hell to get old. And it was hell to be young, so there you go. Life is interesting. Take it one day at a time. That's my motto. Like a journey. Interesting journey. That's what it is. I hope it warms up enough. It's supposed to be 70-something today. I'll start the ambulance and start the bus. Let them run for a half hour. That's what I could have done. Could have, should have, would have. Get that done. Make sure the batteries are all good. Hell, I ain't had that bus out in years, but I still start it. Back it up and pull it forward. Oh, man. Keep with them on. Looks like they're going to Mars. Who the hell would want to go up there? People crazy anyway. Just improve the world you got. Improve what God gave you. Keep it clean. Pick up your trash. Recycle. do something. They ain't going to, though. Mankind don't give a damn about the next generation. If they do, there's very few of them that do. They don't give a damn if their grandkids and their great-grandkids get to see an elephant or not. Kill it. Yeah. Hell, the only reason we got cattle left on the planet and chickens is because we eat them. Animals we don't eat, like the carrier pigeon, hell, they just exterminated them. They ate too much wheat. They're about to get a lot of wild game exterminated, ducks and geese and certain kind of deer and everything else. Man's insatiable habits. Maybe if they put up enough pot shops, they'll be so docile they won't get out and do anything. Sit there and stare at their own laziness. Yeah, put a few more of them up. Yeah. That's all I know about that stuff. I got a great nephew, I guess. No, maybe I'll, yeah. Anyway, he's been a pothead ever since I've known him. He's so damn lazy, he won't even get up and move. That's enough about that. I guess there's a reason for some people, but not all of them. You know, using pain medication or something like that, maybe, I guess. But anything in excess, out of the Lord, ain't good for you. Even sneezing. Goodness gracious. Heart stopped again. Oh, you didn't even get excited. I said, no, I'll put up with you long enough. I made some mac and cheese. And I hand graded my cheese and everything. Well, goodness gracious. I didn't eat all of it either. I put tuna fish in it for lunch. So there you go. My eating habits. Got some cornbread I need to throw out to the birds. You don't throw out uncooked rice, they can't digest it, they die. That's why they quit using rice at weddings. Started using bird seed. I started that. So it's supposed to symbolize, I think, prosperity or something. Or never be able to starve to death or something. Who the hell knows what it is. They should have thrown cooked rice at them. That way it wouldn't hurt the birds. Who knows? Oh, try to look around and see what I got to do today. Got to fill the dogs with water in the feed. Change the poopy pads. Carry out the trash. Today is Monday. Get the trash on the curb. I might go shopping, but still again I might. No. I got one day of pretty weather. I might get everything I'm going to do outside done. That's what I might do. Who the hell knows? Freezing to death this house. But I was pretty warm last night. I had a blanket and a wool blanket on top of that. Made my feet warm. Then the little guy was warm, or he was right under the foot of the bed in his big old wool blanket. Baby girl Oreo and big boy was on the van cover there. Yeah, I think one thing is 1,000. Oh, I got the yawnies this morning, the sneezes. Coldest I ever been on this planet, and I've been to the South Pole. And the North Pole was in Amarillo, Texas. About froze to death in that damn place. Wind blowing about 60 on a steady wind. I didn't have much more on than this little t-shirt thing I got that I slept in. Pair of Levi pants, pair of white socks, and a pair of penny loafers. Me and this kid, that was my second cousin. We were hitchhiking across country, hopping freights, you know what kids will do. And we got stuck in Amarillo, Texas, out there in the plains, way outside of town, about, I don't know, 50 miles, something like that. We was headed to Oklahoma. And it started blowing sleet, ice, and snow. Oh, I mean, it would stick to you like I don't know, like frost sticks to your beard. And we'd come across the roadside rest where there's an old dumpster there. We threw the trash at it, which wasn't much. There wasn't much in it. We crawled in that thing and shut the lid down to keep from freezing to death. And a truck driver pulled in. Back in them days, there wasn't much room in the cab of a truck driver. 2 seats, it didn't have the overnight sleeper or any of that shit. He's leaning back over there trying to sleep. We beating on his window telling him, hey, he said, if you'll give me an hour's rest, I'll get you into the next town. Shit, he only got about 35 minutes worth of rest, 'cause we about to freeze dead. We beat on his window so damn much, he said, oh, hell, get in, we'll take you to the next damn town, so you shut the hell up. And when he did, man, I shook. I shook for a week after that. I was cold and chilled plumb to the bone. Even if I was in a house when it's 80 degrees or 90 degrees, I was still shaking. I was so cold. That was the closest I come to freezing to death in my entire life. Hell, Antarctic wasn't that bad. At least I had clothes to suit. I got the coat around here somewhere where I used to wear. It reminds me of a friend of mine. I ordered a mink coat, or a stole, I think what they call it, a stole, for my wife, and I ordered an apron for my sister. It was a joke, but anyway, a mink apron, and then I ordered me a mink bedspread. From an old boy that raised minks. Ain't nothing but a rat anyway. And I still got that big old mink bedspread. It's a king size bed. It's in there under the bedroom all folded up. I should have a coat made out of it now. If I get cold, I go dig that damn thing out and wrap up in it, and oh boy, that damn thing will warm you up. I just remembered I had it. Might dig it out through these cold days. Me and the dogs all huddle up in that fur. I bought a little dog that yits, whines, and barks and whimpers, and the little guy thinks it's real. He go get it and put it up there in the bed with us, and then he takes care of it, puts his paw on it, and lays his head on it. I'm like, I got you, buddy. I asked him, I could hiccups. I asked him, is that your baby puppy? He just looks at me. Hell, take care of it, I I gave it to Chris for his little dog to keep him company, but hell, his little dog was scared of it. Poor thing. Tell me, guys, where is the coldest you've ever been on this planet in life? That was the coldest I'd ever been in my entire life. Was outside of Amarillo, Texas. After they wasn't nothing. They wasn't nothing but a barbed wire fence to keep the damn wind down. And it wasn't blocking much. Thank God for that dumpster, we would have froze to death. It was one of them old wooden bin dumpsters anyway. They later on made them out of metal. Yeah. At least it blocked the wind. God, it was cold. The more I think about it, I just want to shake. And I'm a kid that used to carry his damn shoes in the snow because I didn't want them to ruin. About lost my little toes because of that shit. I was trying to remember where the hottest place that I've ever been. I started to say looking off at a volcano in Iceland, but I guess that was not the hottest place to be. I think it was somewhere in the California desert. It was so damn hot. It really didn't stick in my mind, the hottest place. The coldest place, damn, no, I'll never get that out of my mind. I've been in some hot areas, like the Iceland volcanoes. Hawaii, visited their kept volcanoes. That's like getting next to an old wood stove. I remember once. We had old King stove. It was made like a damn trash can. It was real thin metal, rolled metal. I seen that damn thing cherry red. I mean cherry red. My sister's got a scar on the back of her legs from backing into the damned old King heater. You guys, whoever remembers an old King heater, they should have made the damn things illegal. It wasn't nothing but real thin metal. And boy, it didn't take much to get them damn things cherry red. I remember one time I grabbed the gas can instead of the kerosene can and blew the lids off the damn cook stove. Sure shit did. My job when I was little, I was about 4.5, 5 years old, was building the fires in the morning. I'd have to get up about 3:30, 4 o'clock, and getting the cook stove going, restroking the fireplaces and getting them going. Well, the fireplaces wasn't hard because they had coals in them. I just cleaned out threw some more wood on top of the coals and they started right away. But in the cook stove, I went in there and there wasn't nothing but just powdered ash. It was colder than shit. Wasn't even no coals or nothing. So I tried to get the damn thing started, and we usually pour a little tiny bit of kerosene on top of the kindling and the top of the wood, and the way it'd go. I didn't have to mess with it. Then I could go out there and start doing my other chores, getting ready to go milk and stuff. Well, apparently, I got to get the kerosene can, coal oil kerosene, mixed up with the goddamn gas can. And I poured, I don't know, half a cup of gas in there, I guess. I was about half asleep anyway. Still makes me mad to this damn day. Somebody put a damn gas can inside the house. But anyway, I poured that on there and I lit it with one of those wooden matches, you know about that long. It blowed me plumb across the kitchen, blowed the lids off the cook stove, got everybody up. Mom was already up. She was trying to get the flour. She was in the kitchen. It was funny as hell. She had flour all over her. She'd got the can of flour out and was getting ready to make biscuits. And we kept it in an old 5-gallon can, tin they called it. And she's getting ready to pour some, had a big old crock bowl. It was pretty good size. And she's scooping some flour into it to get ready to make biscuits for breakfast. Of course, I got my ass beat for that, but it wasn't my fault. I didn't switch out I always blamed it on my brother switching out the kerosene coal oil can for the gas can, because they looked alike. And back in them days, they didn't write kerosene or gas on the side of it. Hell, at 4.5, 5 years old, probably couldn't read it any damn way. Should have smelled of it, then I'd have known the difference, but I didn't. My mother's eyeballs was big around as dinner plates, man. It wasn't for her, though. She said, it ain't his fault. They should have never had gas in my kitchen anyway. Boy, she ruled her kitchen. I ain't lying. There wasn't much that woman didn't take care of in that farm. When it came to her kitchen, that was her kitchen. And if you touched one bit of her food, she was done cooking. You didn't come in there and open the lid off the pot and taste of the soup before it got done. She'd ready to serve it, because it was done right then. She'd take it off the stove. I don't care if it had a raw chicken in it. She was done cooking. If you thought it was done enough that you'd go in there and taste it, then it was done. She'd set it on the plate and you'd either eat it or stare at it. But she wasn't cooking nothing else, you know. She ruled her kitchen. She'd have the girls wash dishes, you know, clean house, this, that, and the other, but she never did let them cook in her kitchen with her. They could sit there and watch, you know. That's all right. She didn't like them messing with the food. Come on, baby. What's the matter with you? Don't you feel good? Yeah. She'd let Tiny help her a little bit, or his mother. She basically done the cooking by her damn self. She said everybody else got in her way and she didn't want to mess with them. I think she's halfway bipolar myself. She could throw out some food real quick to feed them 14 kids, I'll tell you that. She cooked 5 gallons of beans or 5 gallons of stew. It was always 5 gallons. I had a great big old 5-gallon pot, pressure pot. She'd take the lid off of it and guts on the inside out. And that's what she used for stews, beans, anything that was in big quantity was that 5-gallon pressure cooker pot. Yeah. Boy, she could put out some food, though. But she'd make mashed potatoes. It was always in, like, she'd make a 2-gallon can of mashed potatoes. She put plenty of food on the table. The one she had 1,000 chickens. She'd cook scrambled eggs in a great big pot. They don't do it anymore, you know. Most of them put a little bit of scrambled eggs in a skillet. Hell, she'd use a 1-gallon pot. And I don't know, she'd probably put 45, 50 eggs in there. Some milk and a little bit of butter on the bottom, and she'd stir them and make scrambled eggs. I mean, we had a mountain of scrambled eggs like that, and she'd dump them out. I guess for that many people, let's say there was 14 kids, mom and dad, maybe 15, 16, and grandma was there. That would be 17. And we always had some cousins and usually nephews or some nieces was always there from the oldest brothers and sisters when they got older. But there's always around, I'd say, an average of 15 people sitting at the table at all times. Even when some of them married off and whatever. Then the cousins would come in, or the nephews and nieces would come in. There's always, I think the least I ever seen at the table was 10 people. But usually on average about 12 to 15 people. That was 3 meals a day. That woman sat there and cooked. Ooh, my God, she cooked. Now, she wasn't the best cook in the family. My Aunt Belle was, but Mom was an all-around cook. Now, Aunt Belle could make the best damn candies and cakes you ever tasted on this damn planet. And she made a meat pie that I just loved. It looked like a pizza, but it was a square tray pie with an old wood cook stove. And she'd make meat pies. It was an open-faced pie like a pizza. Hell, I didn't know what the word pizza meant, but then she knew what the damn open-faced pie meant. She married some of the richest men in California. And one old boy, she lived up in the mountains, up there in Middletown, California. I lived there with her for a while. And she married an old boy, had a resort up there. And he couldn't get her off the damn mountain. And the reason he, I guess, married her, she had one of the best mountains up there for skiing. And he ended up marrying her anyway. And she would not move. He wanted to build her a new house. Now, she had this little 2-room shack. And, of course, hell, she had money. It wasn't her problem. But she liked living, and it was old. And it had wood stove and old pump, run off of a spring and all this other shit. And she wouldn't let him tear that house down. So he had to build another house over the top of the house that she lived in. And it was funny as hell. So 90% of her house was modern. I mean, it had garden tubs, and it had big place where you could set 50 people, and it was a beautiful house. But in one little corner of it, by the kitchen, they took down part of the little wall in her part of her house. I would say part of the wall, probably 10 foot across and whatever. And one end of that kitchen was a modern kitchen. I mean, it had a 12-burner gas stove in it and every damn thing else. And one end of her kitchen was just like it was when she lived there. And she done most of her cooking in the old wood part of the house. He died and left her that damn resort. She sold that damn thing, moved to the desert. Then ended up marrying a guy that owned most of the lettuce fields down around Broyles, California. He died, then she moved into Vallejo, and that old boy owned a oil refinery company. She had 22 kids, and that's all by the first man that she ever married. And the rest of the men she married, the rest of the 6 of them she married 7 times, never had no kids, and that's all single, elderly bachelors. And they just loved her to death. I accused her one time, she called her a black widow. But that woman could set out a table. It had 7 different main courses for breakfast. 7 different kinds of meat, sausages, all kinds of bacons, hams, you name it, jellies and jams, and hell, she overfed them. Money didn't even touch her, did not faze that woman one damn bit. I love no Aunt Belle. I used to stay with her quite a bit. She's the one that got me off the streets. She told me she'd send me to school if I'd come and stay. I was in the desert down there in Brawley. Down by Calamex, Mexicali. I went down there and stayed with her for years. Then went over to Los Angeles. Started college and stuff. My folks lived up around Modesto, Sacramento, Stockton, up in there. But it wasn't in Oklahoma. Better go. Talk to you guys later. But remember, life is a journey. Get off your ass and enjoy your ride. It ain't much of a ride if you're just sitting in this damn recliner all day. So today I gotta get out, get them vehicles started up and warmed up. I wished I could talk longer. I'd tell you about my niece invited me to come and stay the summer down to her place. She owns some land down at Lake Texoma. And she said, I got it all set up for you, Uncle. It's got water, it's got electric, it's got everything you need for the summer. And I told her I might come down there and visit her for 2 or 3 days, but I ain't going to stay the whole damn summer. Yeah. But she's quite a case. She's been fighting breast cancer for about 2 years. I told her what she's going to have to face about chemo and radiation. I said, I've been there and done too, all that crap. I said, the damn radiation worse than that damn chemo. But anyway, she says I could come down there and stay the summer. I'm wanting to go back up to Nevada and build my cabin. I think I'll just have it pre-made. I ain't got time to live, have one hand-built. I'm going to build it out of shipping containers. That's what I'm going to do. You guys have that great day. Remember, get up, go do something. Have that journey of a lifetime. It'll take a lifetime to have your journey. Bye-bye.